Hey there, welcome back to another 5-minute book review. I'm your host, John Hartness, and if you're wondering why it looks like I'm sitting outside, it's because I'm sitting outside. And if you're wondering why it looks like I'm sitting outside in a construction zone, it's because we had some renovations done to our house last month, and I still haven't gotten around to hauling all the crap off. So this week's 5-minute book review is going to be, oh wait, hang on. Yeah, look, y'all might be a redneck, but you are not shooting a video sitting on your back porch, sitting on an abandoned toilet. Redneck. Which fits perfectly with the theme of this week's 5-minute book review, which is Dead Until Dark by Charlaine Harris. This is the first of the Sookie Stackhouse novels, which was the basis for the TV show True Blood. Now, I watched all 9, I think, seasons of True Blood, and I enjoyed it. It was a good show. Had a good time. Now, because of that, though, I can't read these books without hearing Anna Paquin's voice as the voice of the main character, or hearing what's his name who played Vampire Bill as the vampire. So that did affect my my reading, but not in a bad way. Some of the characters in the book match up with the characters in the show, some don't, but to take the book as its own thing, it is a southern fried urban fantasy with a chunk of romance and a murder mystery all rolled up in there. The thing I really liked about it, sorry, I'm sweating, I'm not running a fever. It's 85 degrees today in Charlotte, and it's still March. It was 55 degrees 2 days ago, and there's now a bumblebee. Hey buddy, how you doing? See? Nope, you can't see, you didn't fly in the camera. Whatever, there's a bumblebee. The book has all of these elements all rolled into one, but the thing that it's got in spades is voice. Charlaine Harris captures small town southern voice as well as anybody I've ever read. Now, I grew up out in the country in South Carolina, so I know some southern. But and it's just the little touches that she puts in there that let you know that someone has either A, done a ton of research, or B, and more often the case, has spent some time living in these places. Now, I don't know Charlaine Harris. I don't know her background or anything about where she grew up, but she talked about, there was one line in particular about Sookie's grandmother planting flowers in tubs out in the backyard, and that resonated with me because I remember seeing these giant old tin wash tubs full of flowers, and the old women in the area I grew up would plant flowers in wash tubs. So those kind of details really separate a book from me to really resonating with people who know the area. There are no horror elements to this book. There's nothing scary. Bad things happen. I mean, it is an urban fantasy and it is a murder mystery, so that means somebody's going to have to die. But, sorry, sweaty. You never know how often you touch your face until there's like a disease that says, don't touch your face. I've washed my hands since I came home from the grocery store, so I'm going to touch my face all I want. But one of the things with this book now, and it's something I've noticed rereading a lot of urban fantasy that I loved when I first started reading the genre, This book was incredibly original when it came out. It was fresh, it was sexy, it was a new take on vampires, it was all of these things. It's not anymore. So it's another urban fantasy with a really great female protagonist, and it's a really well crafted book. But this book today does not feel terribly fresh because it's, I don't know, what, 10, 12, 15 years old? Also, allergy season in North Carolina. My truck, y'all, you would not believe, my truck's yellow. My truck does not start the day yellow. Anyway, so that's a problem with work that is new to a genre. It's like all these people who first saw the Lord of the Rings movies and were like, oh, well, that's a lot like this book I read. Well, yeah, because that book you read is a lot like Lord of the Rings. And the Sookie Stackhouse series kind of suffers from the same thing. Because it was wildly successful and because it was one of the early pieces of the genre, some of the originality that I believe people felt when the book was new is lost. Because we have a lot of awesome female protagonist urban fantasies today. Kimbra Swain's Trailer Park Magic or Trailer Park Fae series is a descendant of these Sookie Stackhouse books, whether she read them or not. The fact that those books are wildly successful is because Charlaine Harris opened the door for these, hey, no writers, that was an and, opened the door for these great female protagonists. Charlaine Harris and Kim Harrison and Laurel K. Hamilton all blazed the trail for some of these great characters that we see today. So I highly recommend it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But understand that if you have read a ton of urban fantasy, it's going to feel really familiar. That's not a knock on the book. It's certainly not a knock on Charlaine Harris. She's a fantastic writer. But it is just the truth about the way we are now. We've seen this many times in this series. I don't remember how many books there were, probably a dozen or so, because hell, they got 9 seasons of TV out of it. So go check out Dead Until Dark. It's the first Sookie Stackhouse book, and I'm probably going to tape another video because they say that you should sit outside for at least 15 minutes a day to get your vitamin D, and I ain't going anywhere else, so I might as well. Oh, what did I want to talk about of mine? I don't have anything of my own coming out, but at Falstaff, we just released Shadows Through Time, which is the collected adventures of Captain Richard Francis Burton. And that is a set of 4 novellas written by James Palmer. And they are these awesome time-traveling adventure, alternate history books. So if you dig 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or you're into steampunk and Cthulhu, you should really go check out Shadows Through Time. And that'll be an image probably right over there, and I'll put a link in the show notes. So you guys stay home, stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.